Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I got some Modern for you. This is a brew from subscriber Jordan, who wanted me to explore Esper Stoneblade in Modern. Esper Stoneblade is a pretty old legacy deck. It was actually a dominant force in the metagame in like the 2010-ish era. Stoneforge Mystic was a hot new toy, and everyone was ready to back it up with discard and counter spells, and that was a pretty good game plan. Stoneforge Mystic was banned in Modern for a very long time, and it's been back to somewhat middling results. The Modern format is undeniably potent with Modern Horizons 2 in the mix, the Pitch Elementals, Urza Saga, Ragavan. There's some crazy stuff going on in this format. And somehow a 2-mana creature that puts a indestructible 5/5 haste into play in the following turn just isn't up to snuff. But I'm going to try to change that here today. This list might look like kind of a mess, but I did put some real thought into every card in the deck. I wanted 4 Thoughtseize for Stoneforge Mystic, because that's just like plan A. If you could Thoughtseize into Stoneforge, you might be able to cheese a lot of victories, or at least put the opponent on the back foot where they have to do something awkward to answer Stoneforge, and then you just follow up with your card advantage and Planeswalkers, which is kind of what the Legacy deck always wanted to do, so this was always locked in. Snapcaster Mage was in the original list Jordan sent me, and there aren't a whole lot of spells to flash back in this deck, but they're all really good. So I like Snapcaster Mage in a small number of 2. Sort of Feast and Famine over Fire and Ice. I think those are the 2 main considerations, and I think bashing through Omnath is pretty important, and I like the ability to have your mana on your turn and on your opponent's turn. This just seems like the way to go. Because +2/+2 gets a lot of creatures out of lightning bolt range anyway, and then you have to dodge black removal. I don't know, this is really tough. Like, there's good arguments for Fire and Ice and good arguments for Feast and Famine, both in the top tiers of the format. But I'm much more worried about 4-color than I am about Izzet Murktide. So I went with the green one that picks apart hands rather than the blue one that draws cards. We'll see if that bears out to be true. This is all experimental, who knows. And Kaldra is the big juicer that can just get a game over. We'll notice Batterskull is in the sideboard. This was in the original main deck that Jordan sent me, and there's a lot of matchups where Batterskull is just bad. It's worse at attacking than Kaldra, and it's worse at defending you than your spells in your deck are. There's 4 Teferi in this deck. Like, we're pretty good at putting a backstop up so we don't get bum rushed. But I did want it in the 75 as a quick way to access life gain for the matches where you do want it, but it's not something you want all the time. So Batterskull's chilling in the sideboard. So is sort of Fire and Ice. So we've got a little modular equipment package that we can move things around as it makes sense. I have 4 Teferi Time Raveler because this card is just messed up. It's great for tempo, great against control, medium against aggro, but it will buy you time. And it combos extremely well with Spell Queller. Sweet tempo card in this deck here. Exiling spells with mana value 4 or less, including Omnath through a Cavern of Souls, like, that checks out to me. It's another main deck way to interact with Cascade spells, which are potent in this format. Same as Teferi. This is just 7 3-drops that can fight Cascade spells pretty well. That made sense to me. Kaya's Guile was in Jordan's original list. It's hard to argue with this card. It just does so many things. When you're in colors that can cast it, having a couple of these kicking around is pretty great. There are graveyard decks in the format. There are decks to pick creatures in the format. There's burn decks in the format, and you got to win the game somehow. So all 4 modes are always relevant. Jace the Mind Sculptor was a card that I waffled on a lot. Like, maybe this should be in the sideboard for control matchups, but I was looking at my threat base, and if my Cauldron gets answered somehow, like if I tutor it up and then it gets Thoughtseized or Griefed, it's really hard to actually win a game. So I wanted something else huge that could just leave a dent on the battlefield when it drops, and Jace checks that box. Jace also has Brainstorm as one of its modes, and Stoneforge Mystic plus Brainstorm is one of the oldest tricks in the book. You use Stoneforge Mystic on turn 2, you tutor up Cauldron. Crap, they killed your Stoneforge Mystic, now you got the 7-drop in your hand. But then you Brainstorm, put Cauldron back in your deck, and play another Stoneforge Mystic to tutor up the same Cauldron. Just tasty little card advantage all day long. And I like having access to that. This spread of 2-mana cantripping enchantments, I struggled with this one too. Like Dress Down I think is great in this deck. It's great against Hammer, great against 4-color. It's great in a lot of matchups where you want it. And there are 2 more in the sideboard for that purpose. But more than any other deck, I think I'm terrified of Tron. And Spreading Seas is good against Tron while also being good against Saga decks, while also having text against 4-color. So there are 3 of each Dress Down and Spreading Seas across the 75. And I erred on the side of locking down lands versus locking down creatures, because there's other things in the deck that can fight creatures. There's nothing else in the deck that can fight lands. So that's the direction I erred on that. These are both cool things to bounce with Teferi as well, because we have 4 of those for just card advantage built right in. In the sideboard, I have a 3rd Path to Exile. Murktide Regent is just a scary thing. Dam also kills Murktide Regent. Across the 75, there's 2 path for Teferi, Kaya's Guile if they only have the 1 creature, and then another path, Mystical Dispute, you could fight over it, and then Dam, and Jace can bounce it. So there's enough ways. You have more answers to Murktide than those decks have Murktides, but they have better card selection than you, so I just wanted to kind of go way over the top on that. Chalice of the Void to fight the Cascade decks, Unlicensed Hearse to fight Is It Murktide, as well as Living End and all these other decks that use their graveyard. Hearse is great. And that's the 75 I came up with. I think it's coherent, even if some of the numbers are weird. This is an experiment run, seeing if this is viable and if taking this posture with the deck makes sense. And I want to be proactive, but I want to have a plan if I have to take a reactive role, and I think I've checked those boxes, at least theoretically on paper. Let's go play these matches. I'm on the play in round 1 against a Gigantha deck, which is usually Death Shadow. It could be Tron. My opponent's username is Boxwine Bandit. While I am not a drinker myself, I have known plenty of people who would appreciate the hell out of that name. That's actually great. I'm going to keep this hand. It doesn't have a threat, but it does have a Thoughtseize, and I'll get to know what they're up to. If they are Tron, clipping an Expedition map or Sylvan Scrying could buy me a lot of time here. If they're Death Shadow, I got 3 removal spells. Or if you count Thoughtseize. See what's going on here. And I do have to fetch the Godless Shrine here to get all my colors under me, which is the worst land in the deck because I'm a counter spell strategy, but at the same time, it's there for exactly situations like this. Ooh. Trusty old rock. Alright, I have 1,000 ways to kill this Dark Confidant. I don't care much about my graveyard. I'm going to take Thoughtseize. Yeah, so Nile Spellbomb. I do have Snapcaster Mages in my deck. There's 2 of them. I suspect we'll be able to pressure the opponent into just drawing a card at some point. Oh. Motobug drew the Thoughtseize. I'm losing Opt here for sure. Opponent just said in the chat, Thoughtseize Bug Strikes again. You know what it is. Yeah, my Opt is gone. Stoneforge? Alright, it's fine. Now we're both kind of playing dummy magic for a little while here. They know I have their next 3 threats covered. And I don't really care about Nile Spellbomb. Witherbloom Command doesn't have any targets. There's a basic forest that I hadn't seen off my Thoughtseize. Yep, here's the push. Just getting to work. Taking your medicine, working through it. Ooh, El Quellerino. That's a good one to draw on exactly this turn. Hopefully they go for something important like a Liliana, and I just get to put it in the trash. I don't think I'm supposed to counter that, but maybe I am. I don't know. Oh. There is a second main spell coming. Witherbloom Command is just draining me and trying to pick up a land. That means their hand is Urborg Besiju right now. All right. I'm going to recoup from my earlier mistake and just quell this. I want to be on the board. I want to be attacking, and just not spending that 3 mana in the turn cycle is pretty bad. Oh, that's good. Okay, Queller, get in there. And it's time to go grab that Cauldra. The Seiju's in their hand, so getting the sword, even though it's the perfect sword for the matchup, getting the sword would be terrible. Alrighty, let's party. Urborg, oh wait, they played the Urborg. I thought I had perfect information, but I don't. Whoops. There is a mystery card in the hand right now. I'd like to see just an emergency cantrip. Alright, Inquisition takes one of my removal spells. Can't touch Cauldra. Too big. And Tarmogoyf as a 4/5. Okay. That is smaller than my 5/5. There's one card left in hand, it's Boseiju. Yep. Unfortunately, can't work around that. I mean, my hand doesn't care about it. I got that going for me, but I can't Thoughtseize it, is what I meant. I'm pushing damage here. I have a flyer and an indestructible creature that eats everything it touches. That is also bigger than their creature. Alright, popping the Spellbomb now grows Tarmogoyf to 5/6, at least temporarily. You have all the same things I do, plus artifact. Alright. But still loses to Cauldra. And didn't draw a card. Okay. Not sure I would have made that play. Let's see what we got here. Okay, Stoneforge Mystic coming in strong. I'm glad I got aggressive with that Spell Queller too. That was pretty important to the match. Dam looks good. Dress Down makes Tarmogoyf 0/1, but then it makes it bigger because now there's an enchantment in the graveyard. That's not where I want to be. At the Exile, this deck's probably going to have a bunch of basics in it. I don't think Spreading Seas is important. You can at least get some extra removal spells in here. Witherbloom Command smears Unlicensed Hearse. That's not a game I want to play against this opponent. We saw Boseiju and Unlicensed Hearse, two things that I don't want to line up correctly. This could be a good Batterskull matchup. It's just like a sticky threat that I can bounce and put back in play over and over again if the game goes long, even though my life total I don't think is specifically that important. Kaya's Guile seems great. I think I can live without the Dress Down. Yeah, that like one trick on Tarmogoyf, unless this is a Saga deck. Oh, there was a main deck Nile Spellbomb. Maybe this is a Saga deck. Yeah, I don't actually know the Rock's place in the modern metagame that well, but it would stand to reason that this deck has Urza Saga in it, especially since we saw one mana artifact in the main deck. Alright, I'm on it. Stop screaming at your monitors. We can chill on to Fairy a little bit. Jace seems great. Snapcaster Mage might be questionable. Okay, I'm going to do it like this. 2 Dress Downs in. There's another one in this sideboard, but I don't know that I want to make all that space. I like this hand. I'm going to keep it. I got lands to play, spells to cast. Let's see what we're up against here. Probably a Thoughtseize. Oh, Elvish Reclaimer. I'm happy to remove that from play. Also, evidence is piling up that this is probably a Saga deck. Just pretty convinced at this point that that is true. I'm going to push it right now and push it real good. That might have just cleared the way for a Dark Confidant that I don't have a good answer to right now. But that's the risk we run. That creature is good enough anyway. A Thoughtseize. Alright. Thoughtseize means there's not a terrifying 2-drop coming into play right now. But they have a second copy of their scary 1-drop. Okay. Right, Glacial Fortress was actually a good draw. Oh no, it wasn't. Never mind, it's the opposite. I was about to say now I can opt and have all my colors available, but no, I have to commit to either white mana or black mana. Alright, I'm gonna shock in Hallowed Fountain because there are Fatal Pushes and Thoughtseizes in my deck. And I think hiding the information that I just drew this spell is worth it. Ooh, that's a good one. And now I took 2 for no reason. They have 3 drops lined up for the next couple turns. I'm actually going to bottom the Stoneforge. I'm not going to have a good spot to cast it for a little while. Saga confirmed. Bitter Blossom, that's a powerful card. Oh, baby. Yeah, dumping it out here on me. Back up to Teferi is pretty cool. So I get to play the first Teferi and bounce this Urza Saga, sit it back a turn. So if I bounce Bitter Blossom, they'll have to decide between Saga or... Yeah, I actually think bouncing Bitter Blossom is better. Because now they have to make a decision. Like, otherwise they would have just replayed Saga and had up mana to play Reclaimer and got a Fairy token. Now, if they want to do Construct business, they have to commit to it. These Reclaimers are getting in good, though. Alright, still committed to Bitter Blossom. That's good. It costs them a Fairy and a Construct long term. It'd be a great time to draw Dam. For real. Thoughtseize, one card left over there. I could plus Teferi. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, maybe that makes sense. Teferi would take 3 in that case, and then... No, I think I just want to Thoughtseize and then jam Stoneforge and try to Aldra my way through this Bitter Blossom. Ooh, Tarok. Yeah, that's a good one to get rid of. Okay. Their deck may contain Pithing Needle, but even if it does, I can draw a land and then Teferi, bounce Needle, attack with Kaldra, or Teferi, bounce Needle, hope to spike a land for Kaldra. And if they want the Construct here, it's going to cost them their mana for the turn. Okay, they're rotating away. That makes sense. Good play. We have fresh Saga. And the search triggers on the stack, so they can get something here. Needle confirmed. Giving Stoneforge Mystic. Please don't have a fetch land as your last card in hand. The attack here, I can block one of them. Oh, no attack. Good news. Come on, untap land. Skull. Alright. I'm going to play the Teferi. I'm going to go for the Gusto here and bounce this Pithing Needle. And see if I can spike. Needle, come on, land. Yeah. I'm going to get a basic right now. And then, alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 attacking. If they put one land in the graveyard, which they can do easily, it's 3, 6, 7. Alright. Is putting my foot on the gas with Kaldra the right call? I think it is, because I can play Batterskull next turn. I can't play Kaldra next turn. And if I can put them in a position to have to play on D, I like that. This thing has Trample, eats everything it touches. We're just flying by the seat of our pants here, because we're not winning a long game. If I can put them into a spot where they die to their own Bitter Blossom, life is good. Saga ticks up here, can make a 1/1 if you spend all your mana doing that this turn. Okay, we're taking a rotation with Reclaimer, which grows the other 2. That's the 7 points of attack that I talked about. Risky business here. We know there's a Needle in hand. Re-Needle. Is this one going to name Teferi and then try to ignore it for the game? They know there's... I think they saw both Spell Quellers. Alright, Teferi is in lockdown. That means I can Spell Queller and Batterskull in their combat step next turn, if I need 2 things. Attacking me for 7. Teferi is frozen. Counterspell is nice backup. Okay. If I attack with Aldra and Stoneforge Mystic, they go to 2. I think this Batterskull... Oh, I need the Stoneforge Mystic on tap. That's right. Batterskull is part of the plan here. Just Kaldra going in. I like the no block. You'd rather have as many attackers as possible. Opponent's at 3. Gonna go to 2 in their upkeep. Do I think they have a second Pithing Needle? Do I want to F around and find out? Alright, let's see what they do with the Saga. Alright, just floated mana. I'm scared. Alright, it's backed up by the Spell Queller and the Counterspell. I'm just going to put Batterskull in now, so I don't get needled. I don't think green-black has a removal spell they can tutor up. Like, there's no Aether Spellbomb in these colors. Okay. Opponent's at 2. Shadow Spear does not get you out of this. You know I have Spell Queller. Does Shadow Spear get you out of this? I don't think it does. Equipping it to a Fairy. Okay, yeah, I can just block that with Spell Queller. And Teferi just makes this all pretty safe. Okay. Creature mode, activate. Yeah, we already got the GGs in the chat. They knew this was here. These were GGs, for sure. Block the 2/2 with my 2/3. Opponent goes to 4. And if they have Witherbloom command, we're dead. Did they bait me with the GGs? Okay, no. It's the Tarmogoyf. Alright. Path's Exile might change things. I just got to figure out how to make sure this happens. Tarmogoyf has a 7/8. Everything but Tribal is there. If I move Batterskull onto Phyrexian Germ, I have a 9/9 lifelink Vigilance with all the additional words on it. Is that enough to win the game? Probably. I could also just attack with my creatures. But yeah, this isn't even a lock. Maybe I path Tarmogoyf, attack with everything, or attack with the big things, and then leave up Queller. When it's at 4. All right, I'm gonna path Tarmogoyf. Yeah, the size of that creature makes this more challenging than I want it to be. I don't like giving this deck more lands, but here we are. Attack with everything. I have a backup Spell Queller to fight the fairy again. Double blocking Batterskull makes sense. Chump blocking the fairy makes sense. So they're going to lose 2 elves, the fairy, and take 1 right now. And the elf is in the graveyard. I also gain 4 off this exchange. And I pass the turn at a high life total with Spell Queller backup. The fairy's still holding the fort. Locked down from activating his abilities, but still affecting this game. Equipping the Shadow Spear. Okay, 4, 5. That's 5 damage. I think I just don't block. We go to 6. And then I can equip the Batterskull and we win easily. And I can counter a Witherbloom command. Yeah, I'll just take the 4. You go to 6. Let my trample creatures do the work. In the end step, I'm going to redeploy, or just drop the second Queller. It's just another attacker, and anything to push damage right now is good. And we go to my turn. There's Jace, who would normally be good, but not necessary here. Equip Kaldra with Batterskull. Oh, Boseiju could stabilize this. That's annoying. Ooh, I could lose this game to Boseiju. Let's see. If I get the attack off... Alright. Now at least my creature has Vigilance. Alright, yeah. They would need to kill Batterskull before combat, so my Germ is tapped. But I guess that's still lethal, isn't it? Oh yeah, they're still... Oh no, they could be at 1. Alright, yeah, Boseiju was a risk factor there. But if I attack with Stoneforge as well, they're still dead. Alright, yeah. We had it. Oh, awesome games. GG's. On to the next one. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in round 2 against someone with no companion. I have a Thoughtseize into Counterspell or Spreading Seas and Teferi. None of these are threats, but there's a lot of disruption here. And I like most games where I can lead on Thoughtseize and then also do a thing after that. All right, Giver, Sentinel, and Memnite. I don't really want to play against Esper Sentinel, but this Spreading Seas is going to be really good. All right, I'm going to put Sentinel in the graveyard. Kind of hope they lead on Saga. No love. Yeah, here's this Giver. I can path that in the upkeep. Giver and Memnite. There is a basic Plains in the deck. I'm not convinced I want to spend time fetching it. Doesn't cast Counterspell. I'm in for basic Plains, never mind. It casts Path this turn and Teferi next turn. That's all good stuff. I don't know how many basic lands this deck plays, but I imagine it's more than one. There's one in their hand already. I would certainly prefer this Path to Exile to be Prismatic Ending, but you gotta respect Murktide Regent in deck building. Yeah, basic Plains in the pocket, and I'm gonna path in the upkeep so they don't get the basic land. Or I guess Draw Step is better than upkeep. It gives them the chance to draw another basic land, but I don't think they're gonna draw a Counterspell. I guess there is that Blacksmith skill. I don't actually know the words in that card. Does that grant Indestructible or Hexproof? I don't know. Alright, they had the basic anyway. And there's the Urza Saga, Springleaf Drum, and Sigarda's Aid. Urza Saga. Alright. I think... So there's two options here. I could use Teferi to bounce Urza Saga, or I could just kill Urza Saga. But I kind of want the Spreading Seas around to take out Inkmoth Nexus. Alright, I'm going to fetch a basic, and I'm going to bounce the Saga. Alright, now I have 2 mana. I can Spreading Seas and hold up Counterspell, which is where I want to be if I don't get hammered right now. Oh god. It's happening. Okay, just Memnite. Ingenious Smith is pretty good, though. Taking out Teferi. Respect. And I'm going to start with Spreading Seas. And that'll give me more information based on what land I want to play. I'll show them the Mystic Gate. They've seen white cards. Let's do it like that. The Snapcaster is really good here. I hope they have a spell for me to counter, because this turn might get awkward. You can draw the hammer now if you want. Nope, just took my damage. Alright, fine. But I can snap Path with Counterspell back up next turn. Oh, Kaya's Guile. Sack a creature, make a 1/1. I'm 1 mana away from kicking this thing, so maybe I should chill. Activating Inkmoth Nexus. Alright, we're going big snaps here. White, filter into white. And then Snapcaster with a white up. I target Path to Exile. And then I'm gonna go to... Oh, nope, my white is floating. Did I need to do it that way? Maybe not. Alright. Oh, I think I did. No, I could have made blue-white off of the... Alright, yeah. It's slightly better to go to blocks first. Yeah, I could have made blue-white off of Island Mystic Gate and just left my planes untapped. Didn't need to float mana there. That was loosey-goosey. Thoughtseize. What thoughts could they have that they haven't played yet? Don't think I want to know. Do I want to know? No, I want to Kaya's Guile and Counterspell next turn. If I make them sack a creature and make a 1/1 that clears the board, it's all backed up by Counterspell. Another Inkmoth. Okay. Each opponent sacrifices a creature and make a 1/1. Yeah, I'm not going to block the Memnite because that Inkmoth Nexus is chilling. Though I have 2 counterspells. Yeah, I am going to block Memnite. I'm more worried about my life total than my poison total right now with double counterspell in hand. And Thoughtseize. Okay, let's see what these 2 cards are. What are you holding on to? Probably just 2 lands. Alright, land Springleaf Drum. I hope that information was worth 2 life, but I know I'm good for a couple turns off Counterspell. Yeah, that would have been lethal. Right now they're going to get their singular points through of poison, and I just need literally anything that counts. Alright, now I got to win this game somehow. I am not in immediate danger of losing the game. I'm actually just going to keep taking these poison hits for a little while too, because this doesn't affect the axis that the game's actually being played on. We're still Pally. I guess I want to counterspell that. And I feel safer leaving a path than counterspell most of the time. Alright, that's both. I can counter a spell and then also block Inkmoth Nexus. Okay, here comes Nexarino. Get your points in. Here they come. I'm not going to play this card. I am going to hang out and chill until I am in imminent danger, because I think getting sloppy is how I lose this game. All right, blue, white, or I should use Mystic Gate for this. Blue, white. Spell Queller. Big ol' monster, counters the Pure Steel Pally and blocks Inkmoth Nexus that they have suddenly animated and played Colossus Hammer. I will Path to Exile that creature. Okay, 4 is the number of basics they have. We found the bottom of the barrel. And I guess I have a lot of white. I think I want Watergrave. Do I have a lot of white? Do I have enough white? I don't know. I feel like I'm covered. I have a lot of blue. I'll get Godless Shrine. All right, deck. How about something to push this advantage? Oh, that certainly qualifies. Okay. Blue, 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 blue. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Opponent conceded on the spot. Didn't even want to see me activate it. That was a very satisfying control game. Okay, Spreading Seas, Path to Exile come in. Dam comes in. Dress Down comes in. I mean, Batterskull's like fine. Neither of the swords are particularly exciting. Feast and Famine and Fire and Ice are both like kinda. I guess Fire and Ice on a flyer, it could be bonkers in the matchup. But maybe I want neither. Maybe it's a Batterskull matchup. If we get into that scrappy situation again, Batterskull's actually great. And my life total does matter. I'm not big on Chalice of the Void in matchups like this. Like, they're on the play, they're going to dump out their zeros, and I don't want to put it on 1 because that's my removal color. Okay, what are we working with here? A lot of good cards in this deck for the matchup. It's like we were kind of pre-built for this, which isn't entirely true, but it's not inaccurate either. Yeah, I don't think I actually want a sword. Teferi's pretty medium, especially on the draw. I like all of the enchantments. The hate enchantments are all lining up well in this one. Queller's fine. It'll Push is good. Maybe I don't need all my Thoughtseizes. Like, it's nice knowing what I need to play around, but also that card falls off really quick. We had one just rotting in our hand for most of game 1. And as hilarious as Jace was to just shut the door, I don't think this is a good card in the matchup. I'm just loaded up on removal specific to this matchup. Win conditions include Snapcaster Mage, Spell Queller, Cauldron, Batterskull. I think that's enough. All right, let's do it. My hand has a removal spell and Dress Down in it. I like both of those things. Also has my 3rd mana and Spell Queller. I like all of the things I'm seeing here. I think I should take my medicine, let them draw a card, and clear this creature. Yeah, it's fine. The effect that this creature is going to have on the game is going to be worth more than a card if I just play off curve for the entire game around it, because I have this really clean curve set up. Sigarda's Aid, okay. That's another permanent I'm happy to end prismatically. Let's get rid of that. Fetching in response. Alright, just to watch it die. Okay. Got the Dress Down for that. Oh, a second aid. Tough. Gonna opt off of a basic in the end step. Opt. Give me some options. Haha. Alright, Teferi on top of the deck. That's a really nice tempo situation. Facing down this Urza Saga. Makes the Sigarda's Aid a lot worse too. Alright, Spell Pierce. That's fair. That was gonna get me eventually. I was playing around Metallic Rebuke, but not that one. With second Sigarda's Aid. Now I feel foolish for removing the first one. Okay, I can knock Infect off of Inkmoth Nexus. I still take 11 this turn, probably, and if they have another counterspell, I'm in trouble. Yeah, I gotta let this happen first. Okay, cool. They're just dumping them out here. I'm gonna fetch. I don't think they're gonna get Hidden Needle, but I'm gonna respect it. And they tapped the Nexus, so I don't have to worry about that now. I'm gonna Dress Down here. Playing around Spell Pierce, not playing around Metallic Rebuke. Shit. Okay. Unpunished. I guess I should have responded to the Saga trigger. Then they can't rebuke me either. Alright, yeah, that was a little loose, but I wasn't punished. The usual. BoshNRoll special. Okay, I'm going to... Do I want to shock in? Yeah, my life total is pretty high. I don't want to spend 2 mana. It's like waste a mana or spend 2 life here. And with Snapcaster backing me up, I want to know what I'm up against. Clearing a Pure Steel is nice. And I can snap opt if nothing else happens, and I can quell something that does happen. I played the planes I knew about. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna snap opt. I'm gonna need another dress down or a sweeper of some variety here. Spreading Seas is good. Dress down's good. Right on top of the library, right where you want it. Ooh, Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, I should filter this white mana into... I don't even need to filter. I'm just going to play my Stoneforge Mystic. Jealous. I'm going to get Aldra to start actually winning the game. Maybe I should have taken this a little slower and made sure that my dress down resolved with Spell Queller backup next turn. They were like functionally hellbent last turn. They're top decking. The one card in their hand came off the top of the deck last turn. I can play around Spell Pierce. Alright, I can't play around Rebuke anyway. I just want to make sure that the dress down can knock flying and infect off the Ink Moth. Okay. Guard is aid, trigger, target. Both of those creatures. Alright, I'm going to dress down again. The constructs die, the Ink Moth loses flying and infect. I can block to stay alive, but it appears my opponent has already conceded the match. Alright. Is that 2-0, 4-0? No games lost yet with Esper Stoneblade? Let's keep this rolling. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. On the play, again in round 3, again with the Thoughtseize. I'm going to keep this. This hand's extremely reactive, but it has the mana to support that decision. And Thoughtseize, I get to know what I'm playing around. Try to use Thoughtseize to make Prismatic Ending and Kaya's Guile relevant. When it's on a mull to 5, I'm a little worried. No companion mull to 5. Are we playing against Tron? Oh, we're playing against Goblins. This is fun. Alright. New Runbelt Hordemaster is what we're up against. I can Prismatic Ending that pretty cleanly. I actually think I want to take Mog War Marshal. Alright, Goblins on a mull to 5. Let's get them. 2 Cavern of Souls, pretty serious business in the matchup, though. Oh, wow. Rip the Prospector. Glad I took the War Marshal. My god. Queller lines up very well against Cavern of Souls. Alright, I'm going to end the Prospector. This is not a card that I want in play against me. I can do this now, and then I can Kaya's Guile the Horde Master next turn. If I even care. Like, I could just Spell Queller Goblin Matron and then have a 2-3 in front of their 1-1. There's the... Is it Horde Master or is it... Yeah, it is Horde Master. Alright. Just making sure there wasn't an L in there, like Hordle Master, like it's hordling. Is that even a word? I'm not sure. But here's my land. I can Kaya's Guile or Spell Queller as necessary here. Guile making a 1-1 just like blocks this idiot. I'll wait until I can afford to take one. See if there is a follow-up. There is. Nice Cavern of Souls. Sorry. I'll exile that spell, please. Okay. Oh, yeah. Sign me up for more of that. Tempo game plan. Dre, I know you're watching this. This is for you, buddy. My dude, Dre. Spirit Squad. Mog Fanatic. That could result in additional creatures. Opponent has 1 card in their hand right now. I think I just want a Kaya's Guile. Opponent sacks a creature. I think I'd rather have a 1-1, but this Mog Fanatic might sack itself anyway. Do I want 4 life? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm 2 lands away from kicking this, so yeah, I'm not interested in that. All right. I will make the 1/1. I'll put some pressure on them to use this Mog Fanatic in a way they're not excited about. They get to Horde Master. Whenever a goblin dies, you exile your top card, and if it's a goblin, you can play it this turn. Oh no! They can. That was a really good one to hit. They can kill my Queller now? Wow. And then Matron comes back? Fuck my life. That was like the one thing they could hit. Ugh. Alright, fine. Okay, let's figure out this one now. We're still a deck full of removal. Tutored up a Ringleader. I've not made a land drop this turn, and I am holding a second Queller. I have a bunch of white, and they said in the chat, got lucky off Horde Master. I agree. But you put it in your deck to draw it. Okay, I am going to play Hallowed Fountain tapped, and I'm going to leave back the Spirit as a blocker. I'm not winning the damage race, so let's not even try. You got to draw a land before this Ringleader can even go on the stack, and I am able to quell it. They did have the land, I have the Queller. This is honestly really concerning stage of the game, because Goblins is historically favored against blue. If they get like munitions, or not munitions expert, Sling Gang Commander set up, especially with a Horde Master. And I like that Ringleader is a haste creature, because it incentivizes a pre-combat attack, or pre-combat spell, which puts my 2/3 in play. Opponent said they put Cavern in their deck so their spells can't get countered. I know, I specifically called out Cavern of Souls when I was building the deck as something that Queller gets around. I have drawn to quite a few lands here. Let's hope they've done the same. Oh no. What 5-mana thing are you doing to me right now? You have actual Siege Gang Commander here. Oh god, this looks bad. Oh, Kiki Jiki, that's so much worse. Alright, I'm dead. I guess, yeah, copying Munitions Expert, and those were the last 2 cards in hand, so either drew the land or the Kiki Jiki there. But I will take a look at what else is in the deck here. Pretend I have a main deck Supreme Verdict. Alright, we got Kiki Jikis going nuts. Okay. Respect. Yeah, the joke is that Kiki Jiki doesn't even matter if the Munitions Expert wasn't hit on that turn with the Horde Master. What do I want to do here? Do I want to reveal my deck has Teferi? Sure, because it's probably not going to be in my deck after board. Okay, here's Teferi, and I'll bounce. I mean, they all have powerful ETB abilities. I'll bounce the most expensive one. Snapcaster Mage. I could snap Thoughtseize, but I know there's 2 Keeks in the hand right now. Yeah, none of this is good for me. Yeah, this was a mull to 5 where I curved out perfectly, and I'm never winning this game. Hilariously, there was a Plague Engineer in the original list of this deck that was sent to me, but I was like, what tribal decks do we need to beat in Modern? That's going out. And here's Goblins. Kiki Jiki's back again. They drew a land for turn. This machine gun is not beatable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Putting a damage on Teferi. That doesn't matter that much, but might as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Opponent's not at 5 life. Disappointing. Alright, you got me. Yeah, that was a pretty good run of as long as they don't hit Munitions Expert, then they did. They'll need a land to cast that. Had the land. Okay, and then last 2 cards in hand were land, Kiki Jiki. To get stable is what it is, but took some doing. Sort of Fire and Ice is the good one here. Timely Reinforcements might hang. The 1/1s might be good enough. It's not really about life total, it's about stability. Spreading Seas turns off Cavern and could color screw them, but I don't think that's really a plan. I mean, Teferi is pretty bad here. So is Jace. Green Black Sword is pretty bad. Gonna remove the for sure bad cards first, and then we'll add cards back in. I get 1 more card here. I could put a Spreading Seas back in. I like the Dress Downs. They're kind of like a split card, Stifle and Semi-Fog. Both of which are cards I'd be interested in the matchup. I like my removal. Graveyard Hate doesn't matter. Definitely like the Thoughtseizes, knowing they're this like combo heavy version with multiple Kiki Jikis. That's a lot going on. Counterspell is bad without Spreading Seas, but then Spreading Seas makes Counterspell good, so there's kind of a squeeze there. Yeah, I think I want to go all the way in on Spreading Seas. This is a really red heavy deck, and it wants to play with a low land count. I'm going to try it like this. Oops, this is probably a Batterskull matchup, but I already clicked OK. In game 3, I'll bring in Batterskull, probably. Probably over one of the Spreading Seas I just brought in. Okay, the nuts. Thoughtseize into Stoneforge, let's party. Gotta take a bunch of damage to make this happen. I could fetch Godless Shrine, and that saves me a damage next turn. Yeah, I'm in. The counter spells are mostly out of my deck. A Vial, Matron, War Marshal, Munitions Expert. I think I want the Vial. I'm just planning on coming in so hot here with the Stoneforge Mystic. Unless they draw a 1-drop Goblin right now. Alright, tap land. We like that. Path to Exile is good. And I have the white to activate Stoneforge Mystic and cast Path to Exile. I'm going for Kaldra. Not messing around here. Just going to blitz on the play. There's Auntie's Hovel showing me the War Marshal again. There's the War Marshal. Spreading Seas. Not going to turn anything off this game. I'm coming in. Did you think I wasn't? Here we go. Blocking with War Marshal. That was going to die in the upkeep anyway, so that's a free 1 damage to absorb. There's a Swamp. There's a Vial right on time. Munitions Expert is up right now. I can path a Horde Master if that's the play. I'm just really sprinting for the finish line here. This honestly feels like Legacy in 2010. Both of these are defensible Legacy decks at some point in history. Both of them are still kind of Legacy decks now. I'm going to take my 2, and I'll fetch a dual land since I have the room to do so here. There's not really anything double black in the deck. Just casting Dam. That's not something I'm going to do. If I Dam this game, it's going to be with Kicker. I already have 2 white. Alright, I'll get a Watery Grave. And attack with Kaldra, but not Stoneforge, leaving back a 1-2 when they're attacking with a wall of 1-1s trying to race me. Oh, I thought it made sense. Then I remember they have Munitions Expert in hand. Alright, it makes less sense than I wanted to. I can Spreading Seas and hold up Path, or I could shock in Hallowed Fountain and Path, Snap Path. I could also snap Thoughtseize, take the Munitions Expert, and hold up Path. That deals a lot of damage to me, but I'm whipping damage around like crazy right now. I'm actually going to do that. Yeah, let's snap Thoughtseize. Beat this hand up a little more. There's the Horde Master. I'm taking Munitions Expert because I can answer the Horde Master. Alright, shocking that down to 8. Telegraphing I have a Path to Exile all day. For anyone who cares to hear it. There is the Horde Master. Attack. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to block 1 with Stoneforge Mystic. I'm going to leave Snapcaster out as an attacker and then path this creature, the Lord creature, which makes the Goblin small again, which means Stoneforge Mystic wins combat. Opponent's at 12. I'm at 5. Their 1 card in hand is Goblin Matron. I can afford to Spreading Seas here. Blue, white, Spreading Seas. To redraw Sunken Ruins. That gives me Snap Plow without taking any damage. Matron can tutor up Horde Master next turn. I left the Snapcaster in play to attack, so it's going to do that. Okay. Just pushing for the max damage here. Opponent's at 4. That's a Kaldra attack. Decided not to crack the fetch land. Disciplined. Okay, what do we got? There's a Goblin Matron. There's a Violin too. The obvious line is Matron for Horde Master and get in, but they know that I would have seen that. And I attacked with everything, so I must have a removal spell. What was your draw for turn? Shalak Mons? Jeez, that's a good draw. Okay. No, it's not. It doesn't matter, actually. Yeah, knowing that their last card is Goblin Matron, they can't actually kill any goblins. Yeah, and if you leave the squad back on defense, I can do what? Just snap plow and easily win. Yeah, the Snapcaster adding 2 power to the board on top of everything else that's happening here. Pashala costs 4 to activate. Snapcaster Mage, what's up? Good stuff. Okay. I don't think we're going to get a game like that on the draw. Like, it barely worked on the play. But that is how we do it. Fairy's actually really good against the Vial, but on the draw, not really where I want to be. Prismatic Ending is also good against Aether Vial. Counterspell's extra bad. Yeah, I probably want to cut Counterspell for Batterskull and just play to the board. I have Spell Quellers to save me. The Dam is in my deck as like a big out to whatever's going on. I feel a little naked cutting all my counterspells against this Kiki Jiki deck, but if there's no creatures in play, Kiki Jiki doesn't do much. And between Vial and Cavern, Counterspell can be a liability. Everything in my deck kills something or isn't a cantrip right now, and that's where I need to be. This hand, my mana base is painful, but I like it. I'm in. I like the way it hurts. Talk to me, Rihanna. Okay, I'm gonna play Flooded Strand. Oh wait, no, I'm gonna Thoughtseize. What am I talking about? Yeah, Thoughtseize. That's the one. 2 Horde Masters, 2 Matrons, and a War Marshal. I'm gonna take one of the Horde Masters. That is the card that this deck is certainly built around. There's War Marshal. Rest Down is interesting. That would knock Echo off of the War Marshal. But if it dies, I also don't get a 1/1. Yeah, that doesn't sound like something I want to do. I'm just going to play Hallowed Fountain tapped. We're going to hold up Path to Exile. The age-old Goblin decision. Do you pay for your Mog War Marshal in the Fair Blue matchup? They did not. Okay. There's Horde Master. Just going to get rid of it. The fact it's a Lord as well as all the trigger things it does, pretty messed up. 2 Goblin Matrons and 1 mystery card in hand. I can dress down a Matron as I continue to get set up here. Stoneforge, okay. Interesting. I think I want to spend a turn dressing down. And if they don't play something I need to dress down, then I can just Kaya's Guile. Okay, here comes the damage first, playing around Spell Queller. Ooh, nothing. Alright. I can play that game. I will fetch a basic... Both my lands make white already, and I am worried about my life total at this point. Alright, I'm going to Guile. For sacrifice and make a 1/1. Sacrifice and make a 1/1 stabilizes the board. Ooh, another Guile. Cool. I would have preferred a land there. If I could Stoneforge and then protect it with Dress Down, that's cool. But I have Guile now, or I can Snap Path. I will trade immediately if they make it the offer here. Yep, deal. We trade off with any piece of material against goblins. Those are the rules. Dress Down in response. Hold. 1/1, 3 mana 1/1. Exactly what you want in your modern deck. But I still haven't found the land, so we're not in the clear here. Alright. Did find a land, but there is another Matron chilling over there. I think it's time to Stoneforge. But now it's not backed up by Dress Down, but I think that's okay. I could also Guile or kill the creature, make a 1/1. And if I draw a land, I can suit up with Sophie immediately. I can Snap Plow if there's a different kind of emergency. I could also just Snap Thoughtseize now and see what they got going on. They missed a land drop, so there's 3 spells over there. Alright. I'm gonna pass. Which might be a mistake, but I think that between Snapcaster and Kaya's Guile, I'm likely to untap with a creature in play. Dark Prospector, that's pretty good. Please don't have the The Hornvelt. Rustvelt? Horde Master. It's going to take me a while to learn that name. Alright, each opponent sacrifices a creature, create a 1/1 black spirit creature with flying. That's where I want to be. Alright, come on, land off the top. Land off the top. Shit, the opposite of a land, and now Stoneforge is a stone brick. Okay, Prismatic Ending, targeting the Skirk Prospector looks pretty good. Let's do that. Oh wait, no, Batterskull's still in my deck. There's still some action here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There are haste creatures in the deck. I'm going to leave that back, and... Alright, I'm going to Stoneforge for Batterskull here. I think the time is now. One-shot sniper picking off Stoneforge, that's pretty good. They don't know I'm already rolling on Sophie's. Alright, but the Matron's going to happen. What is the payoff? 1 card in hand plus this Ringleader. Is your 1 card a land? The second Matron, okay. If I draw the land here and get sort of Fire and Ice pumping, we could still be in this. Just tooted up 2 Ringleaders. Alright, come on, land. Land. I can Thoughtseize one of these Ringleaders, which I think is actually necessary. And then I can hold up Snap Plow. Yeah, I'm gonna chill like that. Oh, this is going poorly. Just missed my land drop for 4 turns now. Yep, there's Ringleader. Maybe they'll miss. Mog War Marshal, 2 lands in an Aether Vial is kind of a miss. There's the Marshal. It's in play. Okay, I am going to Snapcaster and Plow here. Or Path, whatever the thing that's legal in this format is. I wish it was Plow. I'm going to get this War Marshal or Ringleader out of here because it is the largest thing. And then I'm going to trade with one of these Matrons, leaving Snapcaster in play to pick up the sword. Come on, land. Hate my life. Okay, I'll play the Stoneforge Mystic and fail to find. And now we are in some trouble. Well, we're in Clench the Cheeks mode. Like, failing to find on the Stoneforge just told them I have Cauldron. They haven't seen sword yet in the match, but that was my window to stick the sword through Munitions Expert, and now it's going to be really hard to do that. Sling Gang Lieutenant. I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm at 1. And now they can also block. Right, block here and here. Okay, this just kills me, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It can sling itself. Yeah, dead for Xaxes. Disappointing. Yeah, I did cast 2 Path to Exiles this game, so they have a lot more mana than me, but also when you draw your tutor bullets and not your payoffs, and not lands to cast them, this is tough. Okay, this sword would have won this game 2 turns ago, but we're dead for Xaxes. GG's. Tough beats. And I am deceased. My top card was the land. Don't worry. On to the next round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the play for the 4th round in a row. No Thoughtseize though, I'm so unlucky. I am definitely going to keep this hand with a turn 2 Stoneforge and turn 1 interaction though. No companion from my opponent. And pass the turn. Okay. Probably hammer again. Fatal Push works next turn just as well as it works now. I'm going to get the Godless Shrine and just jam Stoneforge Mystic here. And I'm going to get Cauldron. That can block any size creature as long as it doesn't fly. Got a fetch for Giver of Runes. And a Springleaf Drum. I could jam Cauldron into play here, or I could just clear their board this turn. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to spend this turn clearing the board. I can Path to Exile, the Sentinel, Fatal Push, the Giver. I could also just put my damage on the board and then do all that next turn, as long as I don't take 20 this turn. All right, I'm going for it. Let's just start attacking, and then they're coming out kind of slow, and I want to punish slow. If next turn they somehow go Sigarda's Aid, Hammer, Hammer, good job, you got me. But in any other world, I'd rather be attacking before I start reacting when they show me this posture. Your Steel Paladin. Okay, that's a good one. Maybe. We'll see. Still need 2 more artifacts in play to equip anything. Or no, 1 more artifact. I guess Hammer comes into play, draws a card, and gets equipped this turn all at once. It's pretty good. Okay. So you draw a card. As long as they don't have Land Hammer, still feeling okay about this. Okay. Esper Sentinel is equipped. Paradise Mantle, annoying. But if they equip Paradise Mantle to Giver... Oh no. Don't do this to me. Jesus Christ. Alright. Fine. I should have played defensive. Annoying. But I can't be mad at anyone but me. I could have passed the turn with an empty board, Stoneforge Mystic up, and a handful of answers, and I just chose to do something different. Don't get greedy, folks. Don't be dumb like me. Okay, Dress Down, Spreading Seas coming in, Path to Exile coming in. Sword of Feast and Famine, not good. Do want Batterskull for when it gets scrappy. The Fairy is medium. Jace is way too slow. Thoughtseize is medium. Yeah, Teferi. I like some number, but certainly not 4. And on the play, it's a lot better than it is on the draw. Counterspell is good. Opt is fine. Do I think the 3rd Queller is better than the 2nd Teferi? Because I think this is where I'm cutting from. And Kaya's Guile is great. So it's a Teferi or a Queller. Just think Teferi's worse than Queller. Alright. Or anything that's really bad and embarrassing left that I missed. I could cut Thoughtseize and bring Teferi back, but I do like Thoughtseize. Okay, time to shake that one off. I went against my instinct and did an attacking thing. This hand is not a keep. Mulligan that one. Okay, this one's better. I'm going to bottom one of the basics and then Thoughtseize on turn 1. This one doesn't have a way to push this advantage, but it does have a lot of ways to not die quickly. We get Watery Grave and go for this Thoughtseize. Teferi Ornithopter is the start. Okay, I'll take the Teferi. This might be a turn 1 Urza Saga situation, which I am happy to just smear into the dust. Alright, that is not what happened. It's all good. Spreading Seas and Dress Down are both good against this hand. Path to Exile, we like that one too. Right, now I can Spreading Seas the Saga and not feel bad about it. Because I was worried about the Inkmoth Nexus, but Path to Exile covers that. There's the Saga. We've seen Spell Pierce out of this deck, but this is still my play. 2nd Dress Down's pretty cool. Spreading Seas. Get in there, please resolve. They've had 1 draw step since we saw their hand last. Okay. Hexproof and Indestructible, sure. Alright. That qualifies. It's cool. I got 2 Dress Downs. Not the worst thing that could have happened. At least I'm not dying now to that, because my Path to Exile can't kill Inkmoth Nexus. And Blacksmith's Skill hitting any permanent is pretty insane. Powerful card. Fatal Push. Alright. Lots of good spells to cast here. You get to make your construct and see if you want to make another one. Making another construct. I'm just going to Dress Down now before they can play a land and hold up a Spell Pierce. Here's a Hammer that cannot be equipped to anything. Sigarda's Aid. Yeah, maybe someday. Dress Down goes away. I got more of those, don't worry. Queller is pretty great. They have multiple layers of protection. They have 4 cards left in hand. 3 cards now. Pure Steel Paladin. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control. Okay, that resolves. Activating Inkmoth. This lets them equip. There's currently no mana floating, so I'm going to Fatal Push the Inkmoth. And I'm also going to Path to Exile the Pure Steel. There's plenty of mana in play already. Let's get rid of that. Kaya's Guile looking good here. This hand's starting to shape up. Spell Queller and Kaya's Guile are both things that can attack the reality chip. That card is uncool. And it gets equipped immediately. Do I just Guile in response, or do I Quell? I think I'm going to Quell. I mean, there are certainly permutations of reality where I lose right now. They just like double hammer with the 2 cards in hand. But even 1 hammer is fine because I can Kaya's Guile. Second Sigarda's Aid's fine. Okay. 1 card left in hand. No attack. Good news. Snapcaster makes things a lot cleaner. Queller, let's go. Starting the beatdown process. Pure Steel Paladin. That is allowed to resolve. There's 1 card left in their hand. I can respond by Snap Fatal Pushing Alley. Alright, Snapcaster, target Fatal Push. The last card in their hand is Blacksmith Skill, then they get to have a creature for a little while. If not, then nothing's going on. And now I'm attacking with twice as much. My clock just doubled. In for 4, which is 1/4 of your life total. Cooking now. Stoneforge Mystic. This is a dress down situation. Yeah, I just don't want that thing to activate at all. We even drew Dam, which I can overload. But I don't want to overload. I kind of want to just point it at 1 creature at the moment. Kaya's Guile just got worse. We'll see what's going on here. Okay, now I can Dam, but I can't Dam and Guile. I can just cast Batterskull. That's the thing. Let's see if they want to trade Stoneforge for Snapcaster. I'll take that trade all day. With an Edict in my hand? Yes, please. Opponent's at 8. I think I want to just cast Batterskull. 2 Paladins are gone already. I don't think they have a hammer. If I shock, what happens? Because I want the double black available. I have plenty of blue. I would want Godless Shrine. Go to 12. Alright, I'll go to 12 and cast Batterskull. I might have just got Nancy again. Gain 4 life plus make a spirit is pretty hard for them to get through. I don't know, the way they've been playing the game, I'm pretty sure they're living off the top here. Without a good spell in their hand. Hammer doesn't kill me. I don't think they have an equipment to trigger Pure Steel Paladin. I don't think they have an artifact to give themselves Metalcraft either. Uh-oh. Was I wrong-o the whole time? Oh, there's 1. How many of these you got? Please don't have 2. This was either a excellent top deck or a really good patient slow roll. Okay, I'm at 2. 1 card left in hand. Oh, come the fuck on. No, you don't. No, you don't. What is this? Oh my god. There are 2 cards in hand. 2 fucking cards in hand. Which means they drew 1 of them this turn. Oh my god. Alright. Well, sometimes you play against the world's luckiest hammer player. Though, once again, I'm not even allowed to say that. I retract my statement because I could have done something about this and simply chose not to. Yeah, I could have just like left a creature back. Like if I just don't attack with Spell Queller, but that doesn't save me. If I get a basic land and don't play Spell Queller, I don't know. My read was correct. Their hand was not lethal, but look, they're hellbent and they managed to put 15 power onto the board from the top of their deck. Is what it is. Got me good. Technically could have played around it, but I don't know if it's reasonable to do that. Maybe you're just always supposed to do that just in case this happens. In putting Batterskull in play gives them 0 turns. Like they need to start chumping and then they're out of material. Bad times. bad times out of the final round. I won the die roll, which is 5 in a row, which means I'm not allowed to complain about die rolls for a while. But I have Thoughtseize into Stoneforge Mystic against a Yorion strategy, which in the dark I'm going to assume is the 4-color Yorion, or 4-color Omnath. We know it's Yorion, I can see it. I'm going to Watery Grave Thoughtseize this opponent and see what we're up against. See how many Furies and Solitudes they can put in front of this Kaldra. Counterspell and Mishra's Bauble. I could take this Bauble and just know what I'm up against. I can counterspell the Omnath eventually. I'm actually going to take Bauble, as weird as that is. Team Vents tapped, you got it. Let's bring the Ruckus here. Can't counterspell this. This actually paces out perfectly that I can put in Kaldra when they're untapping into 3 mana, and then I can hold up counterspell when they're untapping into 4 mana. Found a Bauble. It is a redraw. Wooded Foothills in play now. And shock that in. Alright, they're representing counterspell onto my board where I don't intend on casting a creature or casting a spell. Let's just bring it in here. Kaldra, let's party. This is a difficult permanent for them to remove. Teferi is their main out to that. Maybe please don't have that. I'm asking you nicely. Shit, they shocked in the Hallowed Fountain. They totally have Teferi. Which also blanks my counterspell, and it all falls apart from here. Oh no, I get to attack Teferi with Stoneforge. We're still good on the counterspell, but hard mode activated. I've got a bunch of... I guess I can just get Godless Shrine here. Have all the other colors. I'm going to attack Teferi, and I guess I'll play a Shock land tapped and sadly pass the turn. I hope they jam Omnath into my counterspell. Expressive Iteration, sure. With Omnath in hand, I'm not gonna counterspell this, but I'm also not really putting them to the test to interact with me, just poking in with Stoneforge Mystic. Ice Fang Coatl, sure. And there it is. Bauble, there's that. They're not even close to Death Touch on this Coatl. Can I have a Teferi, please? Or some powerful spell. Path to Exile. That's not what I was looking for. Just gonna attack. Begin the poking. I have the necessary lands to equip Kaldra 2 turns from now, if I can be alive that long. Which of course is a big ask. Ren and 6, okay. This means next turn they can counterspell to protect Omnath. Growth, okay. And they are now close to Death Touch. Jeez. That's a lot of lands. I'm going to continue attacking my opponent. I don't think dedicating any effort to Ren and 6 is going to win me this game. They actually don't have any lands in the graveyard. They've played 0 fetch lands this game. Oh no, because they just picked one up, right? Yeah, there was a Wooded Foothills. That's where it went. They do have a fetch land in hand. Take it all back. I hope they play Omnath before making their land drop to try to go nutty. Ooh. We're just casting Fury here. Dance around this Omnath like a boss, and it's just not even the game plan. Dealing 1 to my Stoneforge Mystic, which means they have another Ren, and they're going to deal 1 again. Ugh. And it's backed up by Counterspell. Yeah, this is why you don't see other blue control decks in the format. I Thoughtseized my opponent. I had my nut draw. I had Thoughtseized Stoneforge Mystic, back it up with Counterspell, and they're just like, LOL, sure. Nice try. Oh my god. I mean, drawing 9 lands in the game is not helpful compared. I've drawn 4 spells and 9 lands. That doesn't help. Like anything that could have pushed the boundaries there, like an end-step Snapcaster, might actually win this game. But now we're just sitting around waiting to die. The human condition. I will counter this Omnath. They will counter me back, probably, if they even care. Then Omnath resolves in response to a draw card trigger. I'll path it. And there goes the 2 cards I knew about from the start of the game. And now we're farting around. Kaldra does give haste. I could draw like some cheap creature and just attack suddenly. The thing. They're probably holding up Solitude by now, jeez. All right. Good news, though. There's not many lands left in my deck to draw. Targeting themselves with Bobble, putting these fetch lands to work. How about that turn 3 Teferi, though? That's where this game went off the rails. I will counterspell this Yorion into their counterspell. All right, cool. That just works somehow. I'm getting poked for 1. There are fetchable lands left in my deck. A couple. A few here and there. I would love to draw a creature like Snapcaster Mage, Snapcaster Thoughtseize. Oh my sweet god. 5 spells to 13 lands was the distribution of things I've drawn this game. Impressively terrible, in fact. Hallowed Fountain get into play. There are not many left. There's a Teferi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try with the Teferi. They didn't have a counterspell a second ago. Certainly doesn't mean they don't have one now, but I'm going to try. I should have sandbagged the land so they don't know I can bounce Kaldra. Alright, cool. Bounce Kaldra. And cast this thing. I guess I'll, put you to 1. Maybe there's a chance. I suspect not, but here's Kaldra. Oh, Ottawara might be in the deck. What? What? Holy shit. They don't even want to drop return? Really? Like, we're just done here? Okay. Okay. I am immediately untilted. Reverse tilted. Whatever the opposite of that is. Just elated. Put it in. Okay. Dress Down is like for this matchup. Right behind Sagas, the elemental stuff is the reason you'd want to ever have Dress Down in a deck. Mystical Dispute can help in the early game, but like we saw that game, I just won with 10 mana in play. Fatal Push gets Omnath sometimes. Path always gets everything. This is not a deck I want to ramp, but I keep saying that, and it keeps being, fine, worth doing. All right, Spreading Seas are coming out. This is the match for sort of Feast and Famine. Thoughtseize very good. Maybe I should chill on Fatal Pushes. Just a little, not too much. Spellquell is great, Teferi's great. Prismatic Ending hits Renin 6 and Abundant Growth. All right, I do want that. They're an Endurance deck. Do I want my Snapcasters? Do you want my counterspells? They're also a Delirium deck. I do like the Kaya's Guiles. Right, maybe this just means I shouldn't have Mystical Dispute in the deck. I'm having trouble cutting anything, and Mystical Dispute looks like the worst card here. Yeah, Dress Downs and Path just help get up under my opponent. Guess that's what I'm doing. Right, I got turn 2 Stoneforge. Fatal Push isn't that sweet, but Spellqueller is. Let's see how this goes. All the work we did game 1 is just going to be much harder on the draw. Come on, Thoughtseize! Counterspell. Right, I'm just going to Misty Rainforest for Hallowed Fountain. I can even get Godless Shrine if they play some creature I need to kill, but probably not. Yep, that happens. I could just hold up Counterspell into Spellqueller and try to tempo my opponent out here. They have seen the counterspells, though, in my deck. Makes it a little awkward to just go for it. I am going to jam Stoneforge, though. I think I want to get Feast and Famine instead of Kaldra this time, though, because I have a bunch of flash creatures in my hand. And on the play, they're more likely to be able to answer this thing cleanly, just like a little Prismatic Ending, and off we go. Yeah, that's fine. Glad Kaldra's not stuck in my hand. Another Triome. Okay, Polluted Delta and Pass is my plan here. I can Spellquell something if I need to. Aggressive Iteration. Do I want to try to quell this or just counter it? I think I quell. But I can snap counter next turn or quell. And they're representing Mystical Dispute or Veil of Summer either way, so I'd rather have the not creature get bricked if something's getting bricked. All right, shocked in a land. Somebody's got a counterspell also. We get Watery Grave here. Untap another Stoneforge. I don't hate that, but I did just spend my counterspell. This is going to be a flash game. Let's tap out for Omnath. Let's go. Oh yeah. I'm gonna snap. Oh, snap counterspell plays into endurance. Spell Queller just goes to the house. All right. White, blue, colorless. I'm gonna quell that. In Solitude busts this open. So does Fury. Yeah, maybe I just played around endurance and into Solitude and Fury. Good, powerful plays by me. Hallowed Fountain come into play tapped. And then let's see if this game plan pays off. There's 3 cards in that hand. If my sword connects, I think we're going to win, because then I can hold up snap counterspell for the rest of the game. Okay, if they had Solitude, they would have done it before I equipped to avoid giving me the 2 life. Oh, we're just in there. This? Oh, they had the endurance. I'm not saying I'm the smartest person who's ever been alive, but I'm not saying that either. Okay, Fury can't get this. Solitude can get this. You will never get this. Another Omnath. I'm gonna snap counterspell this one. Counterspell. I'm leaving up black in case this goes awry somehow and they end up killing one of my creatures, and maybe Fatal pushes on at some point. Okay. Unholy Heat. Oh, that gives you the other Omnath, which I can kill because I left up Fatal Push. Remember that conversation? Right, in response to the draw trigger, we're going to clear this out. And now they have 2 cards in hand. I can play Stoneforge, equip Sophie, attack, and then follow up with Jace. Okay, Stoneforge Mystic into play. Yes. Get Cauldra. Sword of Fire and Ice. Or Sword of whatever this is. Sword of this and that. Whip. And I don't have any instants to float off my Watery Grave, unfortunately. So a mana's going to go to waste. Temple Garden in the graveyard. 1 card left in hand over there. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Let's party. I'm going to brainstorm with Jace. Maybe I should have Fate Sealed, but I think it's okay. I mean, the chance they had Counterspell there was, I think, worth taking. And they got to kill Snapcaster and Jace and Stoneforge. Reverse. They do have all of the necessary types. All right. This is a Delirious Traverse. They're not close to Emrakul. Could just reload on Omnath, but I kept the fetch land Fatal Push to clear another one of those. They got a new card. Enters the battlefield, search your library for an instant or sorcery with mana value 1, reveal it, put it into your hand. Okay, so you get the Unholy Heat. Alright, that's cool. Cool new tech. Dominaria United became legal on Magic Online yesterday. So you can get Traverse or... Oh yeah, please ephemerate this creature. I can actually just win here. I'm going to fetch in my upkeep because I don't want to draw these cards, but I do want to be revolted. And I'll just get a basic because it doesn't matter. And draw for turn, put in Cauldra, bounce the Mancer thing with Jace, and then in response to Ephemerate, kill it. Bounce the Mancer thing, cast Ephemerate, I Fatal Push. This is a 4-drop. And we're out of here in style. Turns out the secret to beating 4-color is to just draw 10 lands and resolve Teferi with Cauldron around. That was a weird game. Game 2 made a lot of sense. That was more like how I drew it up. A 3-2, and we got beat by Goblins. Pretty much fair and square. We had a great game against Goblins, and they got us, just ground us out at the end. The other loss, we beat Hammer 2-0 once, and then we lost to Hammer. And the Hammer loss, both games, I could have played more defensively, and I think I just lost my role. I mean, definitely in the game 1 against Hammer, where I could have just passed the turn where they have no non-land permanents in play. That's kind of a board state I'm very happy with, versus game 2 where like I read correctly that their hand could not kill me, but they top decked a way to do another 5 damage or 10 damage. I don't know which one was the top deck, but their 2 cards in hand after drawing for turn was Hammer and Cauldra. So whatever. But this deck was surprisingly sweet. Just a lot of good interaction. I think all of the card choices came up. Like we pathed some stuff that I don't know that we pathed anything we wouldn't have been able to push. There was a Kiki Jiki around, but we didn't actually point a path at it. The Kiki Jiki is the only thing we saw in the league that we couldn't push. Push was really good against the Omnath deck. Like Push was just good the whole time. We played against a lot of creature decks. Stoneforge Mystic putting the pedal to the metal. We saw Sword of Feast and Famine take over that last game. We saw Cauldra do a lot of work. We saw Batterskull do some work, and Sword of Fire and Ice almost did work before I missed my land drop for 5 turns against goblins, but it was threatening to do work. Dress Down was great. Spreading Seas was great. I mean, we hit the matchups where Dress Down and Spreading Seas are 4. We hit 3 Saga matchups, so clearly that's going to look smart, but the cards were good in this sample size. Aya's Guile was great. Even Jace won every game it showed up in, so really good shit. Spell Queller, there's of course like room for moving things around here. Like maybe Opt should be Consider or Serum Visions or something different than Opt, or maybe playing 2 copies of a cantrip is kind of wussing out and you should just pick a spell, like run more discard or run the 4th counter spell, like, or maybe it's perfect just how it is, and just having that little bit of modality and different types of spells give Snapcaster Mage more value. Because if every spell in your deck is a removal spell, then Snapcaster is just always a removal spell. But like Snap Opt when you need just to do something or you just want to spend your mana is a cool option to have. Yeah, somehow just on pure theory crafting, we ended up with a pretty solid list, and it showed up. A 3-2 record on the books, and both punts and variants involved in the 2 losses. Like I can see how this could go the other way. I mean, some punts and variants involved in the wins too. Like I don't know how often you're going to win a game against 4-color where you have 10 lands in play and haven't done anything, and then they suddenly concede. But we take them going in and we take them going out. Jordan, this was Esper Stoneblade. I hope my version of the deck is to your liking. I enjoyed it, genuinely. It's pretty fun. 4 colors scary, but against anyone doing anything kind of fair, like these tools are all there. This felt like a legacy deck from 2010, and Modern now is probably more powerful than Legacy was in 2010. I mean, there's still no like Dark Ritual kind of shit in this format or show and tell, but the fair decks feel like they're on a power level that 2010 Legacy would be happy with. And that's how it felt. Thank you, Jordan, for the list. Thank you, everyone else, for watching. This was fun, but I'm done talking about it for now. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the stuff that supports the channel. The Patreon, Coalesce Apparel, Moxfield, TCG Player, all that stuff. Links are in the video description. Click on them. Keep this channel on the air. I appreciate you all. See you next time.